What's up, guys? It's Daryl. Just wanted to give you a week one reflection on the Sag Nasty If Anybody Asked Me podcast. The response initially was amazing, but there came a point of controversy during this whole journey that I wanted to take with you guys, and it had to do with a comment I made about hating the Himmeter kids when I was back in third grade. A few people took this comment personally, like I hated them. Another individual used that opportunity to take a personal attack at me and received good. Some people supported that attack, not really understanding what was his motivation behind the whole thing. For those unfamiliar with Himmeter, it's an elementary school in Saginaw Township, and the school, at least when I was growing up, was divided into two sections. I think they even had wings in the school. One wing was designated for the gifted kids, and the other wing was designated for, I'm not sure how they called those students, maybe non-gifted or traditional, or I'm not sure. But back in third grade, I don't know how old I am, 8 or 9 years old. Of course, I didn't know anyone from that school. At least I didn't think I knew anyone from that school. And all I knew was that they had kids that were labeled gifted. And for me, that didn't make sense. Wasn't I gifted too? Isn't every child gifted in their own special way? I definitely don't believe and I don't subscribe to the idea that some people are born smarter than others. I've met plenty of people who slip through the cracks in education system who are extremely intelligent, extremely quote-unquote gifted. So I've never really subscribed to that whole idea. There also was the issue of socioeconomics. The amount of dollars at Himmeter was just staggering compared to any of the other elementary schools in the school district. Why is it that so many gifted kids also happen to have some money in their family? They often had two parents. All these things that we didn't have. They had big basement where you had game rooms in your basement and big screen TVs and couches and stuff. Our basement, if we ever had one, was for storage, and it just had our washer and dryer down there. So maybe hate was the wrong word. I think that being away from America so long, I'm also out of touch. Of course, that didn't mean I hated anyone in this situation. It's just a figure of speech. But I guess it's also antiquated figure of speech that you just can't use anymore. People take it literally, or they use it as an opportunity to attack it. So I have to be careful with my words. But yeah, I didn't know anyone from Himmeter at that time. So the first people I met from Himmeter actually were two teammates of mine in the Gus Macker. Both of them were not in the gifted program, gifted wing of the school. They were in the traditional classes. And one of those guys even had to leave Himmeter because he had a learning disability. He shared his sadness, I guess you would say, with us about having to leave school, leave his friends. And that was my first impression of Himmeter, actually. I don't even know if I knew Himmeter existed. No, I knew it existed because someone, maybe a teacher or someone at school had once suggested that perhaps I go to Himmeter, that I take the test and see if I can go to Himmeter, but no one ever came back to me about that. Maybe it was when I transferred schools from Sherwood to Westdale, I'm not sure. But when that guy, I think he even cried, and I didn't really understand what it was all about, especially at that age. But I just felt angry that someone had hurt him like that. It seemed like a good guy. I didn't know him that well. I was introduced to him by the other teammate, but I liked him, and I didn't understand why a school would do that to someone, would make a kid feel that way. So that was the beginning of it. But the next part, of course, was the socioeconomic side of it. As I got older, I saw that, there was a neighborhood right behind my school, Westdale, and most of the kids living in that neighborhood didn't go to Himmeter. Didn't go to Westdale. They went to Himmeter. And I didn't understand why that would be. I guess I don't want to say much about it. I don't want to get in more trouble, but the socioeconomic side of this situation with Himmeter, potentially problematic in my opinion, but I like that so many people who attended Himmeter spoke well about the school, and I like that the response was so strong. I think that was really cool. But from that experience, I started to see that I'm probably in trouble. I think I got it wrong. This whole belief and perspective that if we share our perspectives, we might gain some kind of knowledge and grow together and maybe heal old wounds and come to a better understanding by sharing these different perspectives. I think I was probably, again, this has happened to me a lot in my life, I was too romantic. I was naive. And maybe there's no going back. Maybe nostalgia, maybe reminiscing. It's not gonna bring those times back, which for me, there were better times back then compared to what we see today. From my perspective, if anyone cares about it, is I see a divided America. I see a divided Michigan. I see a divided Saginaw. I see a divided class of 2000. When I was growing up with all of you, I didn't see it that way. I mean, not everyone was like best friends or something like that, but I didn't really see that divide. Maybe it was always there, I don't know. But for me, I just felt like those were better times. And that was the goal of this podcast, was to try to return back to those better times, to bring us a little bit closer back together. I know at the time that a lot of people were overlooked. I wanted to let those people's stories be told through this process. But I don't know anymore if I'm the right person to do that. And yeah, so now I'm stuck with the dilemma of trying to decide what to do now. I have more interviews scheduled, already conducted other interviews, and those people spent their time with me and have their story. They trusted their story with me to deal with it, to handle it well. And now I don't know. The intention was always good, but I don't know if I have the thick enough skin to deal with it. I don't think I have the capabilities, the talent. Maybe I'm not gifted enough. Please don't be angry at that comment, but because I'm actually being honest, maybe I don't have the capacity to do what I set out to do. And now that I'm 40 years old, I gotta start to accept reality a little bit better. I gotta do away with the romanticism. what is it? What is it? Not Danny Glover. Donald Glover. He said, "This is America," and maybe it is. I didn't want to believe it. I thought that people were being manipulated by the media, manipulated by people with different motives, political motives a lot of times, and they were trying to divide us. They even tricked us into believing that we were divided, but maybe we really are. Maybe we always been divided, I'm not sure, but even saying all this, I think is bullcrap. I still think that we can heal those wounds. I still think that we can come back together. Of course, we can't exactly have those times because we've all been through a lot in our lives, me included. But I think that I still believe that we're that one people. I still think we're that one community. I still believe in the power of sharing those perspectives. But at this point, I just don't know how to execute that plan effectively, and this is the issue. I'm sorry for offending anyone. Definitely wasn't my plan. It wasn't even said in some way to like offend people. Like I wasn't trying to troll or something like that. I thought it would all be understood that, hey, that's just the opinion of an 8-year-old. It's not my opinion now. Plenty of friends from Himitor. Well, I don't know about now. People who I considered friends, but maybe they didn't consider me that way. I'm not sure, especially after this controversy. But yeah, I just don't know if I'm the right person to do this. And I'm not trying to like get people to feel bad about it. I'm just trying to explain why you might not see this project go forward much further. And yeah, it's not because I don't want to do it. It's because I'm probably not the right person to do it. But
I'm trying to move those feet, I'm trying to snap those necks. I see the logs in their eyes while they're looking for my speck. I'm just like you, my life's a mess. The only difference is I know